What if the smiling priest of the eternal paradise faith, who keeps a temple full of people happy by handing each one back their own face, took the demon king's throne in a world where every demon alive is only a piece of one man's body? How the heck would he do that? How would Akaza react? And what would the 12 Kizuki do about orders from a chair with nobody in it? Our story starts with Muzan Kibutsuji, who is sick of Doma's fake worship and pushes more of his own blood into him, just to see whether a hollow thing breaks when you fill it. Doma walks home, with the Demon King moving around in his chest. His name is Doma, upper rank 2, white hair, eyes like oil on water. This morning is completely normal. The doors open at dawn, the hall fills, and a woman kneels and says her son died in the winter. Doma listens. Then he cries, real tears, at the right second, and she thanks him for understanding. But before service he sat in front of a sheet of his own ice and practiced her face. He copied it off her at the gate the day before. He has never known what anybody feels, so he learns faces off the ice like a child learns letters. He hands people their own face back. They call it love, and when the hall is empty, he eats them. Something new is moving in him today. Every so often a cold spot crosses his chest that is not his. That is Muzan, thinking about him. Soon, Akaza comes to the temple, upper rank 3, and he cannot stand Doma because Muzan gave blood to a coward and none to him. He says so in the middle of service, in front of 200 kneeling people. Doma has never won a thing in his life. He freezes people who are already on their knees. Doma does not stand up. He smiles the way he always smiles and gives him one sentence. You have one want, Akaza. I have every want in this room, and mine never run out. Then the air goes white. Fog fills the hall. Akaza swings at the voice and hits stone, and when it clears, the seat is empty and both doors are a foot of ice, frozen from the outside. He has to punch his way out through a wall, and he goes down that mountain with a grudge that runs the rest of this story. Doma stops caring about services. He wants to know what that cold spot was. In a fishing town, he watches a demon die the way only Muzan can kill. The demon says the name out loud where a human can hear it, and he comes apart from the mouth down while he is still saying it. Muzan is 100 miles away and never lifts a finger. It works from any distance, and it lands the second Muzan notices you, because every demon is made of his cells. He wakes them inside your body, and they eat you from the middle out. So there is nothing to cut, because you are the thing he is inside. And a cage is no good, because a wall stops a body, and this arrives as a man paying attention. So the target was never the body, it is the noticing. So he gets close, using the only skill he has. He does not gush, because he knows his worship annoys Muzan. He brings information instead, every rumor about a blue flower, because news is the one thing Muzan makes time for. Standing that close for months, he collects facts. Muzan has 7 hearts and 5 brains, and keeps shifting them around inside himself, so no single cut reaches them all. But all 5 brains have to agree to make one thought. 5 at once, in step. He also asks Kokushibo about the swordsman Muzan still fears, and upper rank 1 gives one answer. The man cut Muzan into 1,800 pieces, and for a long time afterwards, there was nothing anywhere doing any thinking. So it has been done once already. The strongest thing alive has been switched off before, not killed, stopped. So he builds a room. Under the temple floor there is a stone box, and Doma spends 8 months cooling it until the stone itself holds the cold. Then he tells the best lie of his life. He sends word that a woman in his congregation walked into the afternoon sun and came back. It is a lie, and it is the only errand Muzan would ever run in person. He comes that night, and Doma walks him downstairs, still talking about her, so his whole attention is on a woman who does not exist. Doma cannot beat him. In a fight, Muzan ends him in under a second, from anywhere, without moving, so he does not fight. He drops the room. Frost Lotus goes off in a sealed stone box, and cold like that does not hurt the strongest creature alive. It slows him. The 5 brains fall out of step. The hand reaching into Doma's chest never arrives, because reaching is thinking. So he folds him into a lotus of ice and closes it over his face. Colder, and Muzan dies, and every demon in the world dies with him, including Doma. Warmer, and one thought finishes, and Doma is water on the floor. There is one temperature he is allowed to live in, and ice does not sit still. ice drifts. So he sets a wooden cup of water beside the lotus. Solid all the way through means he has time. Water on top means he has hours. And here is the price. He can never be more than a few days from this room, and never take a wound bad enough to miss a visit. The strongest creature that ever lived is now a chore, forever. Then he tests it. He stands alone in the dark under his temple and says the name out loud. Muzan Kibutsuji. Any demon who says that dies for it. Nothing happens. Nobody is paying attention to him, and nobody ever will again. Upstairs, he starts running the world. 12 demons, and with the head gone, every one of them has a claim, including the one on the top step with 6 eyes and 400 years of practice, the only demon who ever kept a breathing style, who outranks Doma, and always will. The problem is not the demons, it is that he has to be home every few days, forever. And every demon that ever existed came out of Muzan's blood, and Muzan is asleep, so no new demon is ever made again. Doma has inherited an army with a fixed number. Against people who kill demons for a living, it can only shrink. The claims come in, and each one gets him from a new angle. The first is distance. Gyutaro and Daki, upper rank 6, hunt loud in the entertainment district, and laugh at an order that came out of a chair instead of a king. Punishing them means 12 days of travel, which he does not own. So the core takes both their heads instead, and there is no way to make 2 more. The second is getting in. Gyoko, upper rank 5, travels inside his own pots, and a regent who never leaves one building interests him. So a pot opens in the room under the temple, and the little man inside sees the flower. Doma cannot chase a demon who does not use doors, but a pot has to open. He freezes it shut with Gyoko halfway out and leaves it in the corner like a vase. The third is numbers. Hantengu, upper rank 4, comes for the empty seat, and every time Doma hits him, he splits into another one, because Doma's art is force put onto a body. So he stops hitting. He fills the valley with fog, because in that fog, only the real body is breathing. It is the small one at the back, and the big ones go out when it dies. The fourth is the floor. Nakime never fights. She holds the biwa, and the biwa is the infinity castle, so the whole demon world slides when she plucks a string. She could drop Doma 100 miles away and hold him a week while the cup went soft, and he cannot threaten her, because killing her takes the castle with her. So he shows her the flower instead, and she keeps playing, because a secret shared with the throne is worth more than a rank. And the fifth is Akaza. He does not want the throne, he wants it earned. So he asks for a fight in front of everybody. Win, and Akaza kneels and calls him king, and every demon falls in behind him. Doma has to say no, not because of Akaza, but because of the cup. A real fight with upper rank 3 costs him weeks on his back, so he refuses. And Akaza asks again, louder, until the whole hierarchy works out that their king will not fight. Make him prove it. So Doma goes looking for demons who will never ask him to prove anything. In the real story, Muzan wipes out the lower ranks for being useless. Nobody wipes them out here, so 6 weak demons who should be dead come looking for somebody to stand behind. They cannot find him, because nobody finds Doma. He finds them first. They try to hire him as a shield, and he takes them instead. From tonight, he tells them, none of you will ever be killed by Muzan for being weak. What he means is that Muzan will never say anything to anybody again. The one he actually wants is Enmu, lower rank 1, whose whole art is sleep. Exactly what this job needs. He takes Enmu down the stairs and makes him the 3rd person alive who knows. Enmu shakes and cries and thanks him, because he has wanted to be near Muzan his whole life, and now he can touch him. But it does not work. Enmu's art needs a mind that can dream, and nothing in that flower is dreaming. So the one tool Doma wanted is useless, and a demon in love with the ice has a key to the room. So Doma stops spending the demons he cannot replace. He calls every one of them off the streets and into temples, one hall in every province, each with a room under the floor, and demons stop showing up in the world at all. So the core starves, not of food, of work. But Kagaya Ubuyashiki reads the quiet correctly. A silence this clean is not an absence, it is a hand. So they stop hunting demons and start hunting for the place they all went. And Shinobu Kocho, the insect Hashira, who has spent years turning her own body into poison, finds a temple in the mountains. They burn it at noon with 30 demons under the floor. Doma is 11 provinces away and does not go because he cannot. And every demon alive learns what the regent's protection is worth. On the other hand, Akaza stops asking for a fight and starts asking one question instead, in every hall in the country. Where is Muzan? A hierarchy survives a bad king. It cannot survive a missing one. Then he answers it himself. Akaza reads fighting strength the way a dog reads a smell, and can point at the strongest thing in a building with his eyes shut. So, he walks Doma's temple, and under the boards he feels the biggest thing he has ever felt, turned down to almost nothing. One night, before it all goes wrong, Akaza sits on the temple steps and says something true. He cannot remember why he needs to be strong. There was a reason once. He thinks it might have been a person, and all that is left is the needing. Doma tries to take that want off him, the way he has taken every want off everybody he ever met, and cannot lift it. He can copy the face. He cannot find the bottom of it. Meanwhile, Doma turns the temple into the weapon, because he cannot leave it. But his strongest attack fills a whole space with cold, and the room he must never cool is directly under his feet. So in the biggest fight of his life, he fights at half strength, in the one building he cannot afford to lose. One night, the Corps comes up the mountain, 100 slayers with Shinobu at the front, and Akaza comes in through the roof at the same time. Doma holds the stairs at half strength, and slayers die in the fog. Shinobu walks straight at him, because she has spent years filling her body with wisteria poison and only needs him to do what he always does. He eats her. A minute later, he is on his knees with something eating him from inside. So he does what he swore he never would. He freezes himself solid, full strength, the whole hall with him, to kill the poison. It works. It also drops the room under the floor past the line, and for 1 second, something in that flower stops. Every demon in Japan goes weak at once. Then he gets downstairs and finds the other edge waiting. There is water sitting on top of the cup. Enmu has been in that room every night for weeks with his hands on the ice, because a dreaming Muzan might dream about him. Doma kills him in the doorway, and Enmu dies happy, both hands on the flower. Then Akaza is on the stairs. Because he followed that pulse down, he looks at the Demon King asleep in a lotus of ice, and at the frozen man in the pot in the corner, and makes an offer. Fight me. Win, and I break the core for you tonight and call you king. Lose, and I break the ice, and the world finds out what an honest question costs. Doma says no, so Akaza puts his fist on the lotus. So Doma fights, full strength, in the one room where full strength is suicide. Akaza should win this. He is 100 years of technique against a man who never learned any, and he takes Doma's arm off. But Akaza finds his opponents by feeling where their fighting spirit is, and in that fog, he is aiming at a man who does not want anything. There is nothing to point at. Every punch lands on air, while the cold fills his lungs. Doma screams for help through Nikime, and upper rank 1 arrives at once. Kokushibo stands on the stairs and does not move. He was there when a man with red marks cut Muzan into 1,800 pieces, so he has known what a stopped Muzan feels like since the first night. He follows orders, and no order has come from the throne, so he watches and leaves. He never disobeys his regent once, and he never helps him either. Akaza dies on the floor of a cold room, and something very old comes loose in him. His hand comes up like he is reaching for somebody who is not there, and he says a girl's name he has not remembered in 100 years. Right at the end, he finds the bottom of it, and before that, he gives Doma one sentence. The only true thing anybody says in this story. You never even wanted it. Doma copies his face out of habit while he says it, gets it perfect, feels nothing. The core burns the temple to the ground and never finds the stairs. Doma builds a new temple over the same hole and puts the cup back where it was. And that is the kingdom. No new demon is ever made again, and nobody dies at sunrise in this version. The whole thing hangs on a cup of water on a stone floor, and Doma has all of it, and he goes looking for the part of himself that is supposed to enjoy it. He tries Akaza's want, and it will not stay in his hands. He tries Enmu's, then the one that got him here, because that was never his either. The extra blood came with the oldest, loudest want in the world sitting in it. Do not die. And it printed on him like smoke on a coat. With Muzan asleep, it has faded, and there is nobody left in the room to copy. So he leans over the ice to look for his reflection, because he wants to know what a king's face looks like. And the only face in that room is the one inside the flower. So he copies it, muscle by muscle, until it matches. The demon king of this world runs an empire he cannot feel, wearing Muzan Kibutsuji's expression, forever. The water in that cup goes a little softer every year, and on the day it goes soft all the way through, Muzan Kibutsuji opens his eyes in a world where every demon left has spent 100 years obeying somebody else, and Kokushibo will be standing there, waiting to be told what to do. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more fire content. Peace out.